You might be surprised to learn that regularly eating certain kinds of nuts can raise your risk of heart disease by up to 48%, especially for older people. You might be surprised to learn that regularly eating certain kinds of nuts can raise your risk of heart disease by up to 48%, especially for older people. This shocking fact comes from a deep study that lasted several years and was printed in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. What's really worrying is that some common nuts which you probably have at home can quietly raise your blood pressure, cause swelling, block your arteries, and even make your mind get worse faster. What's really worrying is that some common nuts which you probably have at home can quietly raise your blood pressure, cause swelling, block your arteries, and even make your mind get worse faster. It's hard to believe, but many older folks eat these nuts thinking they're making a healthy choice. There's one nut in particular, which I'll tell you about soon, that's linked to an increase in a substance that, if taken often, can harm your kidneys, liver, and brain. There's one nut in particular, which I'll tell you about soon, that's linked to an increase in a substance that, if taken often, can harm your kidneys, liver, and brain. This nut, often praised by people who like low-carb diets, is probably in your snacks right now, but it could be quietly hurting your aging body. This nut, often praised by people who like low-carb diets, is probably in your snacks right now, but it could be quietly hurting your aging body. But don't worry, because this video will walk you through it step by step. Here you'll find the most detailed guide on eating nuts. You'll discover which ones are safest, which ones protect your heart and brain, and which ones are best to avoid. Here you'll find the most detailed guide on eating nuts. You'll discover which ones are safest, which ones protect your heart and brain, and which ones are best to avoid. Stay with us until the end, because I'm going to tell you a disturbing truth about the riskiest nut, which few people talk about, that could be affecting your health without you even knowing it. Before we start, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on other similar videos. Also, tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Before we start, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on other similar videos. Also, tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Now let's discover together the 4 types of nuts that older people should include in their diet. Let's start with our 4th tip, the true champion for strong and healthy bones. Almonds deserve a special place among the most valuable foods for older people, thanks to all the calcium and vitamin E they have. These two work together to keep your bones strong. As we get older, our bones can become weaker and more brittle. This means it's easier to break them and have serious problems. After age 65, we lose bone mass faster. But eating about a quarter cup of almonds every day can slow this down, giving you around 97 milligrams of calcium. Besides calcium, almonds are also a great source of magnesium. Older people often don't get enough of this mineral. So that's another good thing about this nut. Magnesium helps stop calcium from building up in your arteries and instead helps your bones soak it up. This is really important as your risk of heart problems goes up with age. The healthy fats in almonds are good for your heart and help lower bad cholesterol. I suggest that older people eat between 15 and 20 almonds every day. It's best to eat them raw or dry roasted and without any extra salt, because they have a lot of fiber, about 3.5 grams per serving. Almonds are a big help with constipation, which affects about 40% of older people. Also, important studies from Tufts University have shown that almonds can protect your brain cells from damage, which is a common problem as we get older. Choose almonds with the skin on, because the good stuff in the skin, called flavonoids, along with vitamin E, double the power of this nut to fight off bad stuff in your body. Remember to chew your almonds really well before you swallow them. If you have trouble swallowing, they could be a choking risk. Now we get to our 3rd tip, walnuts, a food that helps with mental health and memory. Walnuts are seen as one of the best foods for older people's brains, also because they look a lot like the organ they help protect. These amazing nuts have the most alpha-linolenic acid among common nuts, which is a plant-based omega-3. This is super important for an aging mind, because omega-3s help nerve cells talk to each other and keep the brain's cell walls strong. A new study in the Journal of Nutrition showed that older adults who ate 42 grams of walnuts every day for 8 weeks got much better at thinking quickly and being mentally sharp. The special stuff in walnuts called polyphenols can help stop brain diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. They do this by fighting swelling in the brain and getting past the brain's protective barrier. Not everyone knows that walnuts also have melatonin. Since our bodies make less of this as we get older, many older people have trouble sleeping. Some people find that eating a small amount of walnuts before bed helps them sleep better. Walnuts are also great for your heart, thanks to the polyphenols that reduce stress on your body and arginine, which is an amino acid that helps keep your blood vessels healthy. By making your arteries more flexible, walnuts can even make high blood pressure medicine work better for older people. Eat 7 to 9 walnut halves every day to get the most benefits, and keep them in the fridge to keep their delicate oils fresh. Cracking walnuts with your hands is also a great way to keep your fingers nimble. Don't let the slightly bitter taste of walnuts put you off. That bitter taste is a sign that they have powerful antioxidants. Our second tip is all about pistachios, which are great for helping to manage blood pressure. Pistachios might be the most underrated nut when it comes to health benefits for older adults, especially for blood pressure control. Because they have a lot of potassium, about 285 milligrams per serving, and not much sodium, pistachios are a healthy snack that helps stop salt from building up in your kidneys as you get older. This balance of minerals is super important for older folks. Just like some medicines, pistachios can lower your systolic blood pressure by 3 to 5 points, but without any bad side effects. It's also good to remember that pistachios have lutein and zeaxanthin. These are carotenoids that protect against macular degeneration, which is the main reason for vision loss after age 60. Older adults can enjoy the crunch of pistachios without worrying that the harder shells will hurt their teeth or gums. The green and purple colors of pistachios, which are full of antioxidants, aren't just pretty. They also help fight off free radicals that make you age faster. Pistachios offer some really practical benefits for older people. Shelling pistachios naturally slows down how fast you eat them. This helps you avoid eating too much and encourages more mindful and relaxing eating. According to the International Journal of Obesity, using the empty shells as a visual reminder helps older adults control their portions better. Choose pistachios that are partly open so you can still enjoy shelling them, even if you have arthritis in your hands. The best amount to eat is 49 pistachios, which is about 30 grams of unsalted or only lightly salted kinds every day. The 3 grams of fiber in 30 grams of pistachios are really helpful for managing blood sugar, especially for the 25% of Americans over 65 who have diabetes or prediabetes. Topping our list are Brazil nuts, a natural solution for supporting your thyroid health. Brazil nuts earn the top spot because they help your thyroid work well, which is super important but often forgotten as we get older. These amazing nuts are the best food source of selenium, with 96 micrograms in each nut. That's 137% of what you need every day. This is a big deal, because about 1 in 5 people over 65 have thyroid problems, and many don't even know it. The selenium in Brazil nuts is key to activating your thyroid hormones, which control your energy, how your body uses food, and how steady your mood is. The healthy fats in these nuts not only help your thyroid, but they also help keep myelin strong. Myelin is like a protective cover for your nerve cells. Taking care of your myelin can help older adults keep their reflexes sharp, react quickly, and think clearly. The natural selenium in Brazil nuts is easier for your body to use than man-made supplements, making them a better choice. These nuts are creamy and rich, so even a small amount feels satisfying, and because they're so powerful, you only need a few. It's important to remember that too much selenium can be bad, so I suggest older adults stick to just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day. When you're buying them, choose Brazil nuts that are still in their shells. This natural protection helps keep their good stuff fresh longer. Because they have a lot of fat, it's best to keep them in the fridge so they don't go bad. Brazil nuts are also helpful for people who have trouble with constipation, thanks to their fiber and natural oils that help keep things moving. Their sweet, buttery taste makes them a yummy and healthy swap for less nutritious snacks that older adults often choose. Recent studies suggest that some of the good stuff in Brazil nuts can protect telomeres, which are the ends of your chromosomes that get shorter as you age. For anyone over 65, these nuts are truly valuable. Now, let's look at which nuts older adults should be more careful with. Let's start with the 4th thing that causes inflammation: peanuts. Even though they're everywhere in our food, many older folks run into problems with peanuts because of the risks they carry. It's important to know that peanuts aren't true nuts. They're actually part of the bean family and grow underground. Because they grow in the ground, peanuts are more likely to get mold and aflatoxins, which are natural poisons that can hurt your liver. This risk goes up as we get older because our bodies aren't as good at getting rid of bad stuff over the years. Another worrying thing is that peanuts have proteins that can cause inflammation in some older people, even if they don't have a real allergy. Since joint pain, heart problems, and memory issues are already common in older adults, this hidden inflammation can make all these problems worse. Unlike omega-3s, which fight inflammation, the American diet already has a lot of omega-6s, and peanuts make this imbalance even worse. Peanuts are also a good source of vitamin K, and doctors often don't tell older patients about the danger of peanuts mixing badly with blood thinners like warfarin. Store-bought peanut butters make these heart risks for older adults even worse because they have added sugar, hydrogenated oils, and too much salt. With 63% of older Americans already having high blood pressure, we don't need more salt to make things harder. Even natural peanut butter can make your blood pressure go up. Another problem pops up when peanuts aren't stored well and go bad, letting out harmful free radicals. Plus, industrial dry roasting creates acrylamide, a substance that can have bad effects on your brain. This is extra scary for anyone already worried about their memory and thinking skills getting worse. If you've eaten a lot of peanuts, switching to one of the recommended nuts just 3 times a week can help you get the nutrients you need while lowering your exposure to these risks. Now let's talk about cashews, a type of nut that can pose hidden risks for older adults. This is because of their high carbohydrate content and their potential impact on blood sugar levels. The rise in blood sugar can be sneaky and not immediately noticeable. Compared to other nuts, cashews have many more carbohydrates and less protective fiber. Considering that about a quarter of people over 65 have diabetes and almost half are pre-diabetic, the risk of blood sugar spikes is real. This is especially alarming because cashews are often thought of as healthy. Many older adults eat large amounts without thinking about the effects on their blood sugar. Their smooth curved shape can increase the risk of choking, especially for those who have trouble swallowing. Cashews are also among the nuts most often accidentally inhaled by older adults. From a nutrition standpoint, they're not ideal because they're rich in oxalates, substances that can bind to calcium and reduce its absorption. This is a serious problem for those already at risk of bone loss. These same oxalates can greatly increase the chance of kidney stones, especially after age 60. The processing of cashews also has its hidden dangers. To get rid of urushiol, a toxic substance similar to what's in poison ivy, cashews go through treatments that lower their nutritional value. Many store-bought versions are full of salt and are roasted in oil, adding sodium and unhealthy fats that can make reflux and high blood pressure worse. Macadamia nuts, while delicious, can also be risky for older adults because they have a very high calorie count. With almost 200 calories per ounce, they're among the most energy-packed nuts you can find. This makes it even harder to keep weight off as you get older, when your metabolism naturally slows down. Macadamias also contain about 22 grams of fat per ounce, putting strain on a gallbladder that's already not working as well. 15% of older adults with silent gallstones might not even know they have them, but macadamias can cause painful attacks. Besides their high calorie count, these nuts also have one of the highest amounts of saturated fat, about 3 grams per ounce, which can raise LDL cholesterol, a risk factor for many older adults. To wrap things up, pine nuts are among the riskiest nuts for several reasons, and these are especially tricky for older folks. A few things make them a choice you really need to think about carefully as you get older. Pine nuts are known to mess with medicines because they have stuff in them that can change how well over 60% of the medicines older people take actually work. This risk can make your medicines less effective or cause bad side effects. While many medicines can interact with each other, pine nuts are especially tricky for people taking blood pressure meds, statins, or antidepressants, which are often given to folks over 65. These interactions can be easily missed and are a real danger. It's important to know about these risks when you're taking more than one medicine. One worrying thing is that doctors and pharmacists often don't tell patients about possible interactions between food and medicines. Another risk is something called pine nut syndrome, which gives you a lasting metallic and bitter taste in your mouth that can stick around for weeks after you eat them. This problem can be super annoying and really affect how you live your life. Even if it seems like a small problem, for older people, it can lead to serious issues because losing your sense of taste makes you eat less and can make your nutrition worse. Some studies show that up to 42% of people who get this syndrome have a lot of weight loss. This happens more often in older people, probably because of changes in taste buds and how the body gets rid of bad stuff as you age. Pine nuts also have a lot of polyunsaturated fats which can go bad easily and create things that cause swelling in the body. This is another risk for anyone who already has ongoing swelling problems like arthritis. Plus, their small size and slippery feel can cause you to accidentally breathe them in. This risk is super high for people who have trouble swallowing or take medicines that make their mouth dry, which is something over 70% of older people taking multiple medicines deal with. It's really important to pay attention to these little things to avoid problems. Some types of pine nuts have stuff in them that can speed up macular degeneration, which is the main reason older people lose their eyesight, according to recent studies. After age 65, it would be best to stay away from these 4 types of nuts. The choices we make about which nuts to eat or not eat can really change our health, energy, and how well our brains work as we get older. Picking wisely can make a big difference in how you feel every day. To wrap things up, remember that even small, steady changes can lead to big results over time. Now it's your turn to join the chat. Have you ever noticed that changing what you eat, like adding or taking away certain kinds of nuts, has affected your health? Which dried fruit has made the biggest good difference for you? Before we go on, tell us in the comments what city or country you're watching from. Feel free to ask questions or share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay updated on all the tips from our channel. And now I want to know who's with me. If you're watching right now and this video helped you, type 1 in the comments. If it didn't convince you, type 0. Tell us about your experiences and thoughts. We really love reading them.